Hello, everyone, and welcome to the replay of the RPES United States Grand Prix. I am here with Benjamin Wirt.
Hello, everybody.
And as you can see, we're about ready to watch race number one. But first, we'll go over the format for tonight's event, or last night, should I say. So all these drivers, we had 11 total drivers enter, and they had 15 minutes of open qualifying. And it was Jeffrey Small, I think that's how you pronounce it, ran a 147.741. So they're on the pole there in car number 82. And last time out, we had Safiva Sankaran. They won the sprint race and the main race. So they're currently point leader with 37 points over Jeffrey, who is in second with 27. And then we'll go over a quick rundown of our race lineup for race number one. Jeffrey in car number 82 starts on pole. Starting second is the 10 of Luke Falcon. Third, your own Benjamin Wirt. Fourth was Sing Karen. And then Richard Wolfsfer starts fifth. Sixth is Jason Potter. Eighth was me, Andrew Reigel. And ninth spot was Samuel Reed. And Byron Gay, Jimbo Rooney, and Zachary Mertz was your starting field. Both races will be 13 laps of distance. This is straight up based on qualifying times, and then it's a quick warm-up session in between them, and the finishing order of race one will set the starting lineup for race number two. Without further ado, Ben, is there anything you want to say before we get going?
Well, I mean, since we were both part of this race last night, I mean, why don't we quickly just review how our qualifyings went? I mean, I'll start. Obviously, I was able to set the third fastest time in qualifying. I thought I put down a pretty good lap, better than I thought I was going to be able to do. I was within a tenth of the pole sitter, so I was happy with it. How did your qualifying go last night, Andrew?
Well, I completed a lap. That is all I can say about that.
Fair enough.
I mean, I was only a little over 2 seconds off the pole sitter, so I think I'd be pretty happy with that.
You definitely impressed me with your lack of experience in the uh, road side of things here in iRacing, so I think you did a great job.
Well, thank you, sir. Well, I guess we're just about ready to get racing here. As you'll notice, we only have 4 cars on the ticker. That is because we're using RaceLab for the first time ever, as our normal ATVO does not work with race replays. The 82 is off into turn number 1.
Yep, 82 gets a great launch off the line. I get a pretty good launch in this race off the line too. I'm able to take P2 right away into turn 1. And then we have St. Karen that looked up to my inside there through turn 2. So we're side by side through the S's. But then as we're coming out of the S's, we're kind of thinking about going 3 wide here. But Luke Falcon there kind of thinks better of it. And St. Karen moves himself up into P2 after starting in the 4th spot. And he looks to run down the leader of the 82 of Jeffrey Small.
Jeffrey looks very strong. It really honestly surprised me there in qualifying. He did not have that much pace in practice, but he kind of pulled out a great lap out kind of out of nowhere.
And I'm going to forewarn everyone, I am closing my eyes for this next corner. I do not want to see what's about to happen.
To be fair, that was a corner.
I just got in there a little too hot, got up out of the groove, and lost grip to where I just could not freaking keep it out of the wall.
We gotta go back and we gotta go watch what happened to me too, though.
Yeah, I at least was able to save it. You, on the other hand, we're not so lucky. we both ran out of talent in that corner.
See, I mean, we're just getting a replay over here.
Yeah, you kind of do the same thing as I do. You just got in there a little too hot, got up out of that groove, and just didn't have enough grip and lost the back end.
They come around off the final corner there, though. It's a complete lap 1. I personally did not buy this racetrack until about a week ago. First road course I have ever bought on iRacing, Ben.
Yeah, St. Karen, after starting in that 4th spot, quickly got himself up into P2 and is already in the slipstream of Jeffrey Small on lap 2 here, trying to take the lead from as he gets a great run through the bus stop there to peek to the inside here through the carousel of turn 5. And he's able to complete that pass on the inside as they head into the boot section of Watkins Glen here.
Yeah, this section was a complete foreign thing to me.
Yeah, when you're a NASCAR guy, this section is completely irrelevant to NASCAR most of the time. So
it's just like another country.
But there you saw Jeffrey go back to the inside of St. Karen to get back to the lead.
I see a lot of drivers getting back there with the exceeding track limits.
Yeah, that corner back there of the boot, that turn, I believe it's turn 8, is a corner where there's not really any sort of track limits enforced. You can go all the way out to the grass.
Yeah,
and you won't get any sort of warning or penalty.
See Luke Falcon there to set the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, the 2 leaders battling that last lap has allowed 3rd place Luke Falcon and even 4th place of Wolsifer to kind of close in. And now they're all going to be slipstreaming off each other here down the back straight into the bus stop.
There you go, side by side at the bus stop. Falcon almost decided to go to the inside there, but thought better of it.
Yeah, the bus stop is one of those corners you can go side by side through there, but A, it is very, very risky and sketchy, and B, you slow the 2 cars going side by side, slow each other down so much through that corner versus going single file. So you're also just losing a lot of race time by going side by side through there. So early on in the race, it's usually a better idea to just, if the car kind of has position on you going into the bus stop, just let them go.
Honestly, when I was going through this race, man, I don't think I once... I don't know how you guys were running wide in that corner, because I could not figure out how to push any harder in that corner. Turn 8, I think it is.
It's pretty much just about hitting that apex of turn 8 and then getting back to the throttle super early. And that's how you're able to kind of use up the track limits there. But in my opinion, I don't really think it's much faster to run that wide out there. It's kind of debatable in my opinion. I'm
Sam
having like
Karen kind of backed
truly
up the corner
tested
there
it.
to get a good run. See if we can get back to him here in the S's.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed is the slipstream is very powerful in these cars up through the S's and down this long back straight. It's just a long time where the cars are full throttle and a lot of slipstream you can get from the car ahead of you. As while this battle is going on, I'm back here in P7 looking to make a pass on P6 of Samuel Reed after my early near spin.
Escapade. You're trying to mow the grass out there, I see, too.
Just a little bit. That's what the dirty air does to you.
Samuel Reed was a guy that I felt like impressed me quite a bit yesterday, too. He showed quite a bit of speed, just didn't have the results to quite show for it.
Yeah, he was definitely really good in this first race, and then, as we'll see later on, the second race didn't quite go his way. But I won't spoil it for anyone that didn't see it. But yeah, his second race didn't go well. Yeah, at this point, I was just trying to be patient behind these two guys. Difficult to overtake when the car you're trying to overtake also has a car right in front of him getting slipstream off of. So
Yeah, I mean, too bad you don't have DRS. I mean, not that it would help you, though, because it'd probably be a train.
And the leaders, while this is happening, the leaders continue to also trade spots. Pretty much just back and forth between St. Karen and Small.
Yeah, I mean, heck, the battle for the lead in both these races really was just something you did not want to miss. So you now see Richard has now worked his way past Luke there into the third spot.
And honestly, if you want, you can go back and watch, because we also missed an overtake from me up to P6. Not that that's important, but you can
We'll
also
get
go
a
back
look
and look
at
at
it.
the battle for the lead that happened going into the bus stop that we kind of missed there while we were watching.
Yeah, around the outside, but it goes.
Yep.
So far, I've honestly found it easier, instead of using my hotkeys, to just click on the names in the standings. Since this is a newer system we're using, it's tough for me to figure it out at this moment. And see Jeffrey back to the point. '56 goes wide there. 10 is going to look into his inside now. And Luke Falcon now up to the third spot. See, he hits the wall there out of turn 4. Well, not turn 4, the final corner. I'm too used to the dirt stuff, man.
Yeah, the nice thing at this stage for me, the nice thing about these guys battling as hard as they were is that they weren't able to run away and hide from the likes of me and Sam Reed and Jason Potter back here. You know, we were able to kind of keep relatively close to them.
We'll go back and get a look at that one there. As Ben was just able to get a good run down the back straight and clears them down into the bus stop.
Yeah, I think I remember I was just able to get a good run out of turn 1 all the way down at the bottom of the hill and just use that slipstream to my advantage up through the S's in the back straight to get to the inside of Sam Reed there.
You see, still got a 4-way fight for the top spot. All the grass flying.
I think if you can, Andrew, we should ride on board with one of these guys up here at the front here for this next lap. See what it's like from the cockpit view in one of these cars.
We'll go on board here with Jeffrey here in second spot.
Yeah, he's tucked up right behind 𝐒_𝐾𝐄, but he also has a mirror full of, I believe that is Luke behind him.
If you're not careful, those curbs they'll bite you. See 𝐒_𝐾𝐄
Yeah.
saw some sparks fly as got to the wall there out of the final corner.
Yeah, specifically the curb that's at the third corner of the bus stop can definitely bite you if you take too much of it, as both you and I found out last night on at least one occasion.
Jeffrey goes by 𝐒_𝐾𝐄 there into the lead once again. And it looks like he's going to hold him off here into the bus stop.
𝐒_𝐾𝐄 just gets a great run, though, through that bus stop. He was all over him, as you can see in the two wing mirrors there, but just wasn't able to quite get to his inside.
So we're just about to get to the halfway point of this one.
Yeah, this is the kind of race here that I would not want to be the leader, having these three cars like that close on my wing mirrors. It'd just be like too much pressure having them right there.
Especially if it was an official race, you never want to see that. Anyone near you in an official race with the Formula cars is terrifying. Especially if you're somewhere like Lime Rock, for example. That corner right back there, though, that not only me or you, Ben, but I caught a lot of drivers out to dry last night.
Yeah, it's an easy corner to get wrong because, yeah, as both you and I saw, you want to hug that inside line. If you get too wide, there's not near the same amount of grip out there, and that's where you can easily lose the back end trying to turn in too hard when you miss the apex.
Oh, as now Richard looped it there in turn number 1. Go back and see if we can get a look at that one. That was one we heard on the radio, but we did not see live. At least I did not. Yeah, he just gets sideways there and loops it. And I think we got to right on board with Luke here. See how close that one was. I guess we'll go with the cockpit view. Yeah, he just barely misses him.
Yeah, if you go back one more time to a little earlier, I think looks like Wolsifer, not quite that far back, but looks like Wolsifer just kind of loses the back end under braking. Looks like he's already sideways before he even gets to the apex of the corner. Yeah, he's already sideways there.
Yeah, he turns in. He's probably maybe downshifted at the same time, maybe.
Yeah. Or was just maybe had just a little bit too little brake bias that the back end just couldn't cope with how hard he drove into the corner. But yeah.
And I see
and the lead gets
𝐒_𝐾𝐄 takes the lead once again.
Yeah.
As you see, Jeffrey just ran his fastest lap of the race. In Reigel Ferocious Grand Prix Series, 1 point is awarded to the fastest lap. which the fastest lap at every Reigel Promotions Esports event is brought to you by 618 Engraving and Design. They also present the caution flag, but we did not have any caution flags yesterday. I said Karen goes way wide.
I can assure you that is not the fastest line there to
No,
abuse the track limits that much.
no, it is not.
You can go up to the grass, but you don't want to be in the grass.
St. Karen, both these guys, they're pushing the limits for sure. They get as close to these barriers as they can off the corner.
Yeah, that's another corner there. That penultimate corner of turn 10. That curb is also, I wouldn't say deadly, but it's kind of annoying if you kind of ride it. Like if you ride like right over top of it, it kind of glues you to it. Like you kind of can't get off of it. And so I think that's what happened to St. Karen in that lap is Small, sorry, goes the inside of him once again, down the back straight, all the way down to the inside.
And St. Karen will let him go and follow him through here again, and they'll swap it back. Yeah, the curbs here kind of remind me, I mean, not only just the color, but our next track on the schedule, which is the going to be the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. I mean, those curbs I feel like kind of behave the same type of way.
Yeah, I would say they're even bigger, though, a lot of those curbs than some of the ones here at Watkins Glen.
One of the things about yesterday's race also, with it being 13 laps, most drivers could only make it about 12 laps on fuel, so a pit stop will be coming. The fuel situation definitely delivered a lot of different strategies throughout the night.
Yeah, we didn't see too much of it in the first race, solely because nobody was really sure if we could actually make it the whole way on fuel or not. But after all the drivers were able to learn what happened in the first race, the second race, it definitely there was definitely some strategy played for sure.
We did just see Luke Falcon ran the fastest lap on that last lap. I'm sure the slipstream had something to do with that.
Yeah, slipstream definitely seems pretty powerful when running lap time compared to, like, it seems like the slipstream benefits you more than what the dirty air hurts you, from what I've noticed. Unless you're like tucked up right behind the guy in front of you, like St. Karen is at the moment behind Small, and then also Luke behind St. Karen.
Yeah, which that would all those guys are battling like that. It definitely makes it difficult to pull away from the rest of the field. So we're about to complete lap 10 with 3 laps to go here in race number 1. While we have a moment, I'll go over a few of our sponsors for this event. The Abendbach's drivers meeting happened earlier on. And then we had our Sweet Tea Gang fastest qualifier, who was none other than the 82 of Jeffrey. And the third party gaming green flag, as I'm sure we're about to get ready to see another move here from car number 1.
Yep, there he goes for it to the inside. Will Small try and keep it side by side? No.
It's such a scary corner to try to go there side by side. I feel like that's only a last lap type of corner.
Yeah.
Unless you think you're that much faster than somebody.
Well, like I was saying earlier, not just the fact that it's a sketchy corner to go side by side, but it also slows the two cars up massively when they go side by side. And they're probably thinking the long game with the likes of myself and Sam Reed still lurking back there in fourth and fifth. They probably didn't want to let us get up here in this battle.
Yeah, they don't need to have it be 5 wide into a corner. They don't need that.
As there was a nice pass for second with Luke Falcon getting to the inside of Jeffrey Small there into, I believe that is turn 8.
As now,
And
Jeffrey was a little wide there.
yeah, looks like maybe brushed the wall just a little bit the right sides, but it doesn't seem to affect the actual chassis of the car or the front wing or anything.
We go back to our first race at Okayama. We did not broadcast that one, but Jeffrey and St. Karen, both those two drivers were the class of the field. They put on a heck of a show up front. But Luke Falcon definitely turned some heads, I feel like, yesterday in his first appearance with RPES.
Yeah, definitely. Throughout practice, he was definitely the man to beat, it seemed like, in terms of lap time.
As you can see, even in the race with the fastest lap. We should mention that they're in 5th place. The 0-2 of Zach Mertz, he 10 seconds back, but he did start dead last there in the 11th spot. And he only by like pretty much the very last second he could have joined the session. He did. So he had some prior commitments, and he just barely made it into the session. So you can see now Ben, you're starting to catch up to these top couple here.
Yes, I am. It kind of spread out a little bit, but not for long, as here come the pit stops coming into the final lap. And you can see back there, I made up a good amount of time on these guys on the pit entry. I close up right behind third place of Jeffrey Small.
Yes, you were definitely able to gain quite a bit. As you see in Formula One a lot, I mean, you have to be perfect on those pit stops.
Yeah. And I felt that was definitely about as perfect as I could get on that pit entry. And you can see I also jump both St. Karen and Falcon there on the pit stops, as my guess is they took a little bit more fuel than what I did. So their pit stop was just a little bit longer. Yeah, since there's only one more lap to go and no one took tires, there's no need to put on another set of tires. That would just cost you too much time for not enough gain.
Yeah, we did allow 2 extra sets of tires. I don't actually needed them, but more than likely they were not going to. As now it is final laps. I mean, all bets are off.
Yeah, I forced Small to go defensive there into the bus stop and thought about trying to hold around the outside, but that was probably not going to end well. So I was just hoping I could try and get like a good run through there and possibly do the same overtake I did earlier in the race of maybe sneaking around the outside of him through the carousel, but he did a good job of defending through there.
Looks like Luke's about to go here side by side with 14, and he clears him.
Yeah, I got a good dosage of dirty air through that turn 7 and understeered massively, and Luke was able to get a good exit off the corner and get to my inside. And at this point, these last two corners aren't really overtaking corners in these cars here at Watkins Glen. So that was pretty much all said and done. As Jeffrey Small wins the first race over Luke Falcon and myself.
And finishing fourth will be Samuel Reed in car 55. Fifth will be Zach Mertz. Sixth will be Richard in the 56. And I believe that was Jason Porter in the 7th position. Or Jason Potter, I meant. 8th was going, ended up being St. Karen, as he had a speeding penalty when he came to pit road. So that was very costly and took him out of the hunt there for the race win. Finishing 9th would be Byron Gay. 10th, yours truly, Andrew Reigel. And then finishing 11th was Jimbo Rooney in car 27. Overall, great race there, though, for race number 1. And as we said earlier, the way they finished there in race number 1 is how they would line up in race 2. Same format, 13 laps and 11 cars. Well, man, since it's a replay, we don't get to interview anyone else that's on the top 3. But since you finished 3rd, what do you got to say for yourself?
Well, I would say that in that first race, I had good pace. Obviously, I was, pretty much matching lap times with the leaders once I got back up into the 4th position. Definitely helped myself gain, what should have been 2 spots had I not messed up turn 7 there in the final lap, but still was a net 1 spot from getting a good pit entry. But yeah, just if I didn't have that spin or half spin on lap 1, it would have been possibly a lot better for me.
Although it was a fun first race, I felt like the format worked out pretty well. I feel like the race was as long as it needed to be, pretty much. didn't overstay its welcome, but made it interesting enough with the strategy. And I think I like the twin race format.
So how about you? How did your race 1 go? We didn't see any of you on the replay here other than your
yeah,
spin on lap
well,
1. So
let's see if we can go back and find it. How about that?
oh boy.
I think we're gonna go lap. I think we're gonna want to go to lap 12 here. We'll see what happens. We'll fast forward here to about the bus stop, and then we're gonna see exactly what happens. See, I hit the famous curb there, and
Yeah.
I back
Yep.
it in, and yeah, my tire's gone. See,
Yep,
here
there goes the rear
I
wing.
think I'm okay, but I'm really not.
What he doesn't realize is he has no rear wing and his left rear is dragging on the ground.
I thought something had to have been off. That's about when I saw my top wing on the track, and I'm like, yeah, something's probably wrong. And then I eventually
Yeah.
decide, yep, I'm done.
Yeah. But yeah,
Still
that's the curve. That's the curve that we were talking about in the bus stop, where you can't take too much of it, or else that happens.
Haven't
It launches
multiple
you up in the
times
air.
in practice. But yeah, I mean, I'll take it though. P9, even though I didn't finish the race.
P10.
I mean, P10. I mean, yeah, even though I still didn't finish the race, I finished 11 laps. I think I'm pretty proud of that. Still got a point. Sadly, since this is my drop race technically at this point, I did not gain much from last night. But more than likely, I'm going to have a worse race than I did last night. But if you're ready, I guess we'll get going here with race number 2.
Yeah, let's do it. That's the beauty of doing it post race, is we don't have to wait for the warm up to complete.
I guess actually first we'll go over the few of the notes from race one. Your 6:18 engraving and design fastest lap was Luke Falcon, the 147.561, and then your TJ Visuals hard charger was Zachary Mertz, who went from 11th to 5th. But and the Night Owl Racing League presents the warm-up session, which we will not be going through since that's just 5 minutes of us taking a break, basically. But we're about to see why I awarded myself the Premier Racing Setups Hard Luck Award. So without further
Yes, we
ado,
are.
they're off.
Most of them are off.
As you can see here, not ideal.
Yeah,
But we're about to
keyword,
get a
most of them
replay
are
of
off.
this one, though. See, the 55 does not go. And by the time I see him, I'm all out of luck.
Yeah, it's as we saw with the onboard earlier, it's not easy from that cockpit view to see past the car ahead of you. So by the time those two cars in front of you there, Andrew, swerved out of the way, you were already up to a pretty good speed and just couldn't react in time to a car being completely stopped in front of you.
Yeah, basically by the time I saw him, it was already too late. See multiple cars peeking and faking there into
And
the
here we
bus stop.
go. Here's a side-by-side to the bus stop. Myself and Zach Mertz were able to make it through side-by-side. But you can just see just how much we lost to the top two in front of us, though, by doing that.
Now, Sankaran, Aaron Car 1 is going to be all over you guys.
Yeah.
Like we said, he had that speeding penalty at the end of race 1. As he gets into the back there, it's a little squirrely. We'll try
Yeah,
to reel it back in.
I braked slightly early for that corner just to make sure I didn't drive up into the back of Mertz. Yeah, and I don't think Sankaran was expecting me to brake quite that early, and yeah, he got caught out by that a little bit.
Luke is now going for the lead here on the 82, and he takes it.
And also, as you can see back there in fourth, I don't mess up that corner on the first lap this time.
As you can see, everyone is clear on the front stretch. There are no carcasses of race cars on the front stretch anymore.
Not yet.
As we said, though, with Sankaran, he started in the 8th spot. He's already up to the 5th spot here after having that speeding penalty. It negated him to his 8th place finish. He won both the sprint and the main race when we were at the Japanese Grand Prix at Okayama back in March. As we see, we have a whole pack of cars here going through the bus stop.
Yeah, the leaders exchanged spots, and I think it was Luke there that kind of backed out and let Small have the position, and and that allowed the three of us to close right back up to him.
Yes, now we're about to have 5, maybe 6 if Richard back there in 56 can catch up to the fact. As all the cars go through the boot section. Sankaran's going to look to the inside here, looks like.
Yeah, I know what happens here.
He hits. It looks like, at least it looks like he hits the curb there going into there and ends up getting into you. But no harm done. As we'll go back and get a look at Luke here. As I remember looking at this one as well.
We'll have to look at both these incidents here and get a replay on both of them.
So watch Remember, I have to go watch the 82 first. And see the 82 just gets a little loose there. And as he's saving it, basically, the 10 car is coming through and just wrong place, wrong time. Luckily,
Yeah,
Zach Merge just barely misses him on the outside. That's the second time tonight that he has just barely missed someone on the outside.
we should take an onboard look at Zach Mertz's avoidance there and see what it was like from the cockpit view of that. Yeah, that was some really good reaction time there by Zach to avoid that.
As now we'll go back and get a look at incident between St. Karen and Wirt. Let's try to get a look here with the one car. I feel like that might be our best bet. If we could try to get a little better of an angle here. Trying to find the best angle. This might be it here, maybe. It's in the corner there and comes up the racetrack.
He goes for a bit of an ambitious move, but I at least see it coming. I give him the space, and yeah, he just clips that that curb, and that curb is a pretty high curb, so it just kind of sends him right into my path. I'm trying to basically cross him over because I do see the move coming. But yeah, that curb just sends him right into me. So before I can even attempt to really cross him over, he just kind of comes across my nose there, and then he gets the worst end of that.
It was one of those type of moves to make it work. It almost had to go perfectly, and with the curb, it certainly didn't help matters. But as you saw, St. Karen went to had to tow back to Dirt Series Promotions pit road, and that will do it for his evening in race number 2. So definitely a tough night for the point leader coming into the night.
And I too also had to go to the pits to fix the damage, but that was my strategy going into this, because I was talking about earlier how the first race we weren't sure, no one was really sure if they were going to be able to make it on fuel or not. But this race, that was kind of already my strategy, that if I was stuck in traffic in the first lap or two, to immediately come to the pits just to get in some clean air and run the rest of the race in clean air and try and undercut some guys.
I thought I saw a car sitting off to the side here. I was pretty sure I saw a car when I was watching the replay here. Yeah, we'll see what happened here to Samuel Reed. Maybe. Oh, looks like he was already having some issues.
Oh, he did the.
Yeah, it looks like he hit the bus stop area.
Yep. Yeah, that did catch a few people out.
It's tough because you want to use the curb, but not that much. Once your car gets airborne, that's pretty much it. And he keeps it going here.
With it being that stiffer suspension on these Formula cars, yeah, you don't really want to catch a lot of air.
Yeah, it looks like he probably had some suspension damage there after he hit the wall. His car really wanted to turn.
From the first contact, looked like his rear wing fell off, and then it kind of came back on. So
yeah, it was like the weird glitch that you normally see with the.
Yeah, so maybe handling wise, the rear wing wasn't actually on his car, which could explain him, losing the back end there through the carousel, because obviously that's a lot less downforce on the rear of the car all of a sudden.
But 82 still leads out front over the 02 of Zachary Mertz. As we're on part of the track that most people don't pass up, we'll try to go back to the field and look at some guys that we haven't really talked about yet. Jason Potter there, who we saw finish, I believe, in the 6th spot in race number 1. Is currently sitting 5th in this one. And 47 there in the Williams livery is Byron Gay. He raced with us in the Japanese Grand Prix as well. And of course, any of you viewers that have watched any of our races know who Jimbo Rooney is. He pretty much never misses a race. He will soon be closing in, I believe, on dang near 100 starts with our league in its history, which is almost as many races as we've had. See, Potter debated going for a move there. He did look for it, but he let him go. Yeah, I was pretty sure I was out of the race at this point, as we saw Byron Gay just take a ride there out of the carousel. We'll try to get a look here. As yeah, he took a big hit.
Yeah, that was a big hit.
I remember when he got out of the race, but I did not know it was that big of a hit.
Looks like, oh, I see what happened. Yeah, he got on that curb, which, yeah, caused him to understeer into that wall, and he just
oh my goodness.
tried to hold it flat, hoping that he wasn't going to hit the wall.
I tried to find a camera angle where I can actually even see that part of the racetrack, to be honest. Probably if I went chase cam. Oh my goodness, Ben.
Man, he needed all those water barrels for that impact, didn't he?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't think he knew when to lift. I mean, as you can hear, I don't think he ever lifted. Yeah, he said maybe he half decided, he couldn't decide if he wanted to go to the boot or go to the NASCAR track. But nevertheless, I think it's safe to say Byron Gay is out of the race.
I just don't think I've ever seen that many water barrels set up in one spot before at any racetrack.
No, I don't think I have either. And I feel like, I mean, they were obviously needed, but
they were, yeah.
I guess we'll go on board with Zachary Mertz here for about a lap. One thing I want to mention still, Reigel Promotions Esports has merchandise. So if you want any t-shirts, hoodies, or posters, make sure to visit regalpromotions.com/shop. And make sure to follow us on Facebook or visit regalpromotions.com to find out when our next event is and how to enter. So go through the S's here with Zach Mertz.
Yep, up in the 6th gear, the highest gear there is in these cars, getting a bunch of slipstream here from small down the back straight. Brake just past the 200 meter board there, down to 5th gear. And just try and hold as wide open as you can without understeering the car through the bus stop there. Keep it in 5th gear, keep it nice and tight there in the middle of the carousel. Let it run out wide, and then a quick downshift here to 4th. And this corner seems like there's a couple different lines you can run. You can either do what he did there, run right up against the curb, or kind of run like a little bit of a wider line. Downshift here to 4th.
This is one of my least
and even
corners.
3rd. And take a nice tight line, run right out there to the grass just like he did. Still staying right with small. He'll downshift here to 3rd again. Try and hug that apex. And as you've been seeing so far, a lot of guys just run wide there. Another downshift here to 3rd. Try and take a late apex here and get a nice straight exit. In this corner, easy flat, even with the dirty air. So shouldn't be any lifting there.
This one is almost flat. I feel like.
Yeah, that one
just a wall there off the corner.
Yeah, that one looked like that was a product of the dirty air, but yeah, that last corner, just a quick downshift, quick tap of the brakes to get the car rotated, and that's a lap these drivers are experiencing, including us, around the Watkins Glen international with the boot.
As we mentioned earlier, round 3 of. Actually, I guess we'll stop that as now Mertz going for the lead once again.
See, I think Mertz and I were the only two that went side by side to the bus stop in either of the races.
Yeah, I've at least when I was racing, I did not see anyone else try to go through there side by side.
Everyone else is play it smart when they have someone there inside. They're smart enough to back out of it and just kind of let him go and set him up for a pass in the next lap.
But as I was saying, next race for the Grand Prix series will be at Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix on Sunday, August 24th. It'll be 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll open practice, and then race will be at 7 p.m. Eastern. It'll be 2 10-lap races for the Formula 4 cars. It'll be free entry, so anyone can join. As now we're going to look for another move here. So 82 will try to get back past the 02.
Yeah, Small almost got too good of a run there out of turn 1 that he.
Yeah, almost passed him already.
Yeah, you kind of want to time it to where you're getting past him just now rather than through the S's. As he's going to try and go around the outside, but
Yeah,
didn't quite get far enough alongside to force the issue.
As long as 02 doesn't mess up, he looks like he may survive another lap. Then our next event will be the Right Rear Racing 60, which will be tomorrow night when we're broadcasting this. Be the big block modifieds at Knoxville. Be live on Right Rear Racing. And the following week will be the Heartland 200 live on Pit Stop TV at the Kansas Speedway with the NASCAR Xfinity cars. As Jeffrey now looks to the inside on the 02 into the corner, turn 8.
Yep, nice and lay on the brakes, under control. Mert saw it coming and let him have it. To hopefully try and set him back up here for a pass back up the hill into the bus stop.
I see the 56 lurking in the shadows in the background, third spot.
Yeah, these guys battling has allowed Lucifer to start to run them down.
A pretty good run there for 𝐏𝐫𝐚𝐻 Rooney. He's sitting 5th right now in this race. He, just like Mertz did in the first one, he also started 11th. As Mertz, lots of slipstream, gonna look for the move into the bus stop.
Oh, they're gonna hold it side by side as long as they can, but nope. Mertz couldn't quite do it.
I thought he had a pretty good run there, but was not able to do it. 82 just too strong.
Yeah, that was the difference between him that lap and the 82 the last lap is, like I said, the 82 got too good of a run out of turn 1, so he had to kind of lose some of his momentum throughout the S's up the hill. So by the time they got out of the S's, he didn't have that much of a momentum difference over Mertz to get enough alongside him, but Mertz timed it really well to have all that momentum build up out of the S's to try and slingshot past, and almost had him. Just wasn't quite enough.
Now you see the 56 is almost nearly there now.
Bus stop, it just seems like the common theme with the bus stop is as long as you defend to the inside and force the guy to try and look around your outside, it's really difficult to make that move around the outside because the car on the inside can just brake later and take the position away.
Yeah, you almost have to dive it in so deep to clear him going into it.
Mertz kind of has a peak there into turn 1.
Yeah, we did not see too many passes. At least not as many as I would have thought going into turn 1.
See, he's a little too close. He gets the inside here, but now he's going to lose momentum, so it's just going to be an outright drag race.
Yeah, now they're almost going to be at least slightly out side by side. He's going to try to force him inside, but now
And
56 is going to gain
Wolsifer,
on him. So
yeah, Wolsifer is right there. These guys have been battling so much these last few laps. Wolsifer's made a 3-car battle now.
yes, he almost tried to hold it side by side once again, but wasn't able to do it. You see the top 3, all their fastest laps aren't nearly identical, but you can see Wolfsburg was dang near 7-8 tenths faster than the top 2 that last lap.
Yeah, I mean, this just goes to show the difference between running single file and battling, because Wolsifer was able to close right up to these guys when they were battling, but then when they're running single file there for the last 3 or 4 corners, he all of a sudden loses about half a second or close to a second, and now they're going to battle here again, and he's going to close right back up to him.
Yep, see, he's already gained 3 or 4 tenths on him.
So obviously battling is great. Like, it's very entertaining, and we love to see it, but at the same time, I mean, it's you also got to kind of pick and choose your battles wisely, because it can drastically slow up both cars, as we've already seen.
It's like in Formula 1 where you see the teams, they never want their cars to be fighting because it's always losing them time.
Yeah, they're always thinking of the long game and the overall race time.
Once again, be side by side. It's going to be a drag race here into the bus stop once again. It's tough to tell from this camera angle, but he might have a better shot at it this time. And he does. He comes almost nearly right across the 82's nose.
And yep, just like that, Wolsifer goes from being almost a second back to being right on their gearbox.
And reminder, they do have to pit still. As there's only a few cars that still need to pit. I mean, they have pitted at this point. Which you, Ben, I know you pitted at this point. Luke Falcon had pitted because he had damage. And other than that, I believe everyone else on the speedway had not pitted at this point.
Yeah, I think at this stage I was the highest running car that had pitted. Even though I'm not on the ticker yet, I think I'm either running P5 or P6 at the moment. As I believe, yep, that's the 82 of Small coming into the pits.
Small coming into the pit area.
So we'll have to keep an eye out here and see where he comes out in relation to mainly me, since I was the highest running car that had pitted.
See, Zach Mertz has now pulled away. As he now see my car still in pit load from many laps ago.
As we should be able to see, I must have already come out of the last corner by this point, because as you can see on the timing board, I do end up taking over the net
there
race lead or P2 from Small.
Yep, just barely about a second gap between the two by pitting early. Back up front though, Zach Mertz still leads. He's got about a second gap now over 56. As 56 runs wide there. Keeps his foot in it though. As
yeah, that's like
to pit.
That's why I was saying, like I said, sometimes you do have to just pick your battles wisely. I mean, obviously both Small and Mertz were having a heck of a race, probably having a lot of fun battling, but had they not been battling, I probably would not have gotten by Small.
Yeah, because the time you're losing is tough, like, because especially, like, it's not like you just pitted early. It was, as we see, the 56 has now lost it in that same corner that we've seen many lose it
Yeah,
before.
except I think he might have got on the grass. Well, he was
Yeah,
kind of already a little out of shape before that, and then yeah, he touched the grass with that right rear, and that was
yeah,
enough to send him the rest of the
he
way
was
around.
pushing it really hard, trying to get in. So now we see Mertz, very good entry there. Gets the pit limiter on, and he will make his pit stop. So luckily that's Jason Potter comes into pits, and Wolfsifer as well. As that's Luke Falcon, but I believe he was quite a bits ways back at that point. As since that first incident we saw when he spun out in lap 2, I believe it was, he did suffer some damage to the front of his car. And see, Mertz comes right out in front of the 14 of Ben. And then Jeffrey is right behind him as well.
And I think the difference of him coming out in front of me versus Jeffrey coming out just behind me was that one extra lap that Mert stayed out running in clean air, not having to battle Jeffrey.
Yeah, I honestly think you're probably right on that one.
He was able to probably overcut the both of us by that extra lap of just running in clean air and running a strong in lap. But I was close enough here that I was able to stick within his slipstream and pretty much run about an identical lap time here in the last lap and a half, but the three of us were just so close on pace overall.
Yeah, pace-wise, there was like 4 or 5, even 6 cars really that were really good, all about the same. It was just who could play the strategy the best and who could put themselves in the right spot at the right time. So we'll come up here on the white flag.
And you can see here on the front stretch, he does everything in his power to try and break any sort of slipstream from me.
They must think it's Indianapolis out there. See, you get almost into the grass there, it looked like, in the turn 1.
I did touch the grass a little bit because I said it to you live last night when it happened that I almost crashed there into turn 1 because I dipped my left rear into the grass under the braking zone, which nearly was deadly.
Yeah, once again, trying to break that slipstream.
Yeah, but at this point for me, first of all, I'm not even close enough yet anyways, but I'm also running out of overtaking spots.
Yeah, it's only really, the only other corner we've seen someone make a pass yet after this really was turn 8, at least consistently.
Yeah. Yep, he's still trying to break that slipstream, but yeah, at this point he
there's not
can
many.
just about coast from here because this is the last real overtaking spot left on the track, and it's still not that good of an overtaking spot.
Yeah, the rest of them he'd have to mess up to be able to.
Yeah.
But Zach Mertz will come out the final corner to his second career win with our league. Last one was in Xfinity cars at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, his first ever on a road course. And Ben Wardick second. Third, Jeffrey Small. Fourth, Richard Wolfsfer. Fifth, Jason Potter. Sixth, Jimbo Rooney. Seventh, Luke Falcon. Eighth, Byron Gay. Ninth, Andrew Reigel. 10th, St. Karen. And 11th was Samuel Reed. So even though I only finished 2 laps, Ben, I still finished in the 9th spot, getting 2 points.
Points is points.
You know, I actually tried to come back out to pass Byron Gay after I saw him wreck to get 2 more points, but iRacing did not let me, as it had told me I had too much damage. I honestly will say, though, heck of a race. It was definitely a lot of fun to be a part of, and even to broadcast tonight. I know it's not the same as being live, but I really wanted to be able to broadcast this event. That way we can take a look back at it, and everyone can see how much fun and how great of a race it really was.
Yeah, I mean, for being a bit of a difficult track to overtake and just difficult car in general to overtake in, I mean, there were plenty of battles for the lead and plenty of overtakes.
And as we continue to do these races, I'm only going to learn what tracks are actually good as we keep going, because half the time I've just taken, as we say, 56, just doing his best Toe Mater impression. But the fastest lap, once again in race number 2, was by the 10 of Luke Falcon, so he got an extra bonus point, as he ran at 147.813. And the hard charger by TJ Visuals was Jimbo Rooney from 11th to 6th. As we said earlier, next race for the Grand Prix Series will be at Spa for the Belgium Grand Prix. Be 2 10-lap events, 6 p.m. Eastern on August 24th. As we'll be taking our summer break. Next event will be tomorrow night, Right Rear Racing 60 at Knoxville for the big blocks. And also have coming up the Dirt Late Model Stream at Eldora, Dirt Pro Late Models June 3rd, and the 305 Nationals, of course, been on Monday, June 9th through the 11th.
Oh yeah, can't wait.
Anything else you want to say before we sign off for the night?
Just a great race last night, you know, pretty decent turnout. I mean, these cars typically on iRacing don't get a very good turnout unless it's an official race, so pretty good for being a league race, these cars, and honestly a lot of clean racing last night. A lot of smart racing.
Yeah, I agree. And just want to say thank you to all the drivers, sponsors, and all of you guys for watching. And we'll see you next time.